last week at his refuge on Contadora Island in Panama, confronting the Shah with the angry charges from the people he once ruled.
I had many sleepless nights, just wondering what is happening, because I still do not understand what has happened.
Tonight, David Frost and the Shah of Iran. It has been exactly a year and a day since the Shah of Iran went into exile. It has been 75 days since the Americans at the U.S. Embassy were taken hostage. They are still being held as ransom for the return of the Shah to face charges of mass murder and corruption. The Shah of Iran has granted an exclusive interview to British journalist David Frost on the island of Contadora in the Republic of Panama. ABC News arranged to broadcast portions of that extensive interview. We want to make it clear that the Shah received no money for the interview and that he imposed no ground rules or restrictions. ABC News has full editorial control for our broadcast. We thought it was important to broadcast the voice at the center of the controversy, the man for whose return the hostages are being held, who would not speak until now, and now says he will not give another interview. David Frost is in our ABC newsroom in Los Angeles. David, first of all, what was your main objective in seeking this interview?
Two, I think, Hugh, really. First of all, to find how he'd respond to that torrent of charges you mentioned, his side of the story, as it were, and to try and provide a sort of up-to-date insight into the man himself, if we possibly could. Of course, we started with the headlines, and you'll notice in the first answer that although the Shah's English is very good, it's his third language, which is very, very good, nevertheless, at one point, he pronounces one word where he says important when he means impotent, or it sounds that way, and he meant impotent. That was when I asked him a question in the current headline, what his reaction was to the proposal for some form of UN tribunal to judge him. I asked him for his reaction. Well, my reaction would be that when they are absolutely important to do something against the country, then they could obviously turn upon defenseless individuals. That would be the case. They have been important since the invasion of Hungary. They have been important on so many other invasions. They have been important in the case of the 1.5 million people who have been slaughtered in Cambodia. They have been important against all those people, as we call them, refugees from Vietnam. On these things, they can't do anything. On a single person, defenseless, for instance, like me, then they will be strong. And the reason they're doing it, I suppose, is because of their concern for the hostages. Yes, but what kind of a precedent would that be? In order to make the United Nations dance to their tune, then terrorism should prevail in the world. Are there any circumstances in which you would go back to Iran to face these people? In a trial for these people? Well, first of all, who are they to try me? They should be tried first. If we have a serious world, people who are rejecting the United Nations resolutions, who are rejecting the Hague Court resolution, who are rejecting the world public opinion, who have no respect for any international law, and who are massacring people, executing people, just imprisoning thousands and thousands and thousands without any reason. Who's going to try them? There have been two different charges that they've made about money. One was they first of all sued for 56 billion, of which they said you diverted 20 billion of funds to your personal use. And then the foreign minister reduced that to
6 billion. How rich are you?
I wonder that those people who are talking about numbers realize what even 100 million is, not mentioning 20 billion or 56 billion. Do they know what it represents?
Given the allegations that you were able to leave the country or to transfer assets abroad of these staggering sums, how much, in fact, do you have?
Well, this is something that obviously nobody would say. But surely much less than many, many, many American millionaires. One day, semi-jokingly, semi-seriously, I was telling someone, how much do you buy me out? I like to receive proposals. How much are, seriously, are they ready to pay against my eventual 25 to 56 billion?
If I was to offer $1 billion, would I be getting a good deal, or would you?
I will only discuss of that if it is on paper, registered, sealed, acknowledged.
And if he lavished expensive gifts on dozens of prominent American and European political figures. Is that true?
That's ridiculous.
He won't be able to provide evidence of that.
First of all, how? Secondly, it's not true.
It was said at the time that members of your family were a great help to any business deal and ended up with a percentage in any business deal or whatever, and that people felt that this was the way to get things done in Iran. But it takes two, of course, in any situation like this. To take the Textron case, for instance, which came up in a Senate confirmation hearing, and where the company admitted it and so on, that $2.9 million went to a relative of yours.
Well, it's not a question of being a member of the royal family. Anybody who was in a deal, first of all, I'm not very familiar with that case. Secondly, is that anybody who is in a deal, regardless of his position, would receive the same share.
What I meant really was, I guess, that it's impossible to know everything, I guess. And that if, for instance, in the case you hadn't heard about, the Textron case, which involved a late brother-in-law of yours, and was the subject of a Senate hearing in the States, and for a week or two it was in the balance whether, because of that, William Miller would be confirmed to his cabinet position. If you didn't know about something like that, is it not possible that there were a great many other things that were concealed from you?
Well, great many of that nature surely did not exist. Of that nature.
But towards the end, you issued an edict forbidding the royal family to get involved in business. It must have been because you realized it had gone too far.
That was the immediate royal family, obviously. Brothers and sisters and very close royal family. Because I thought that even though it was not prohibited by law, I would prefer them to not be engaged in such activities. That would not have prevented